Hello everybody, Starman here, welcoming you to the first chapter of Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, which was, to my surprise, the far and away winner on my recent Twitter and Facebook poll regarding what game should I do a Let's Play of. In fact, there was such a demand for this, I decided to interrupt my Fallout 2 playthrough, which is complete as I record this. There's 84 chapters in total, and I just posted chapter 60 earlier today. But after the tedium of watching me blast my way through all the families of New Reno, I thought you could all use a change of pace, and I could use a change of pace recording this stuff. So I thought I'd go ahead and get this one started and show you a recent revival of a classic. Now, this game does have a little bit of controversy behind it, because it is the most recent Leisure Suit Larry game, and it is an adventure game, but it was made entirely without the participation or help of Al Lowe, the original Leisure Suit Larry creator, and there were quite a few old school gamers who said they weren't going to give this one a chance, partly because it sounded like Al said that they didn't even approach him, and he had no idea they're making a new Larry game until they announced, hey, this is coming out. And the programmer said, well, after the last time they made a Leisure Suit Larry game, Al said he was done, he was retired, and we were respecting that and didn't approach him because we thought he'd yelled us to get off his lawn or something, which, you know, I'm willing to take them at their word, because having played this game, it's not exactly the same as the old school Leisure Suit Larry games. But that's actually a part of this game, and a part of the joke of it. And the spirit is still there. This game is still going to offend pretty much everybody who doesn't have a sense of humor regarding sex and comedy, and, you know, if you're the sort of person who gets offended by Mel Brooks or Marx Brothers, you'll want to skip over this Let's Play, because this game is it is juvenile and intelligent at the same time, which is a hard balance to pull off. But if you are a fan of the old Larry games, you will probably enjoy this one. The jokes are a little bit different, but it is just as comic and just as cheerfully sleazy as the old games were, because, of course, the main reason why the whole series is controversial is that your whole objective is you're playing a loser who's trying to have sex with as many beautiful women as possible. The joke of it is that he is rarely successful, and that for all the questionable things that Larry does, he does get his comeuppance pretty frequently, so you do get to laugh at his misfortune, even as you are kind of rooting for him. It's very much like Dan Fielding from Night Court, and I'm really dating myself with that reference, which is slightly older than the Larry games, but anyway, enough of me rambling about this. Short version is, I liked this game. I thought it was very true to the spirit of things, and I'm willing to take the creator's word that they just didn't ask Al Lowe to be part of it because they thought, you know, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into this with no further ado. We'll go ahead and start a new game, and I'm going to be taking extra care to try and get all of the achievements I did not get on my first playthrough of it, which I'm proud to say I got most of them. There are 31 achievements, trophies in the game, and I got 23, and I think that's pretty good considering that there is one you can't get in the same playthrough. So we're going to be taking extra care to get that one, and it turns out that most of the trophies I missed were in one section of the game where they encourage you to save it and reload and get everything. But we will go ahead and do that when we get there. So we'll go ahead and start a new game. And instantly starting a new game is one of the achievements in this. But we do have the question, you are about to start a new game. How old are you? Old enough to play? Too young to play? More than old enough? And I'm just a cat walking over the keyboard. That does not get you a silly response, which, if this were an Al Lowe game, he'd respond meow, 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 probably. And then too young kicks you back to the main menu. And a little something here for you youngins who grew up with video games and talking about dated references. this is a throwback to the days of copyright protection, because back before we had downloadable games a la Steam, it was ludicrously easy for a computer-savvy person to copy a computer game, put it onto a disc, and give it to their friends, and give it to their friends, and so on and so on. In fact, there is some belief, and a case can be made, that the original, very first Leisure Suit Larry game may have been the highest-selling, well, the most played computer game of its era, based on the fact that they sold X amount of units and Y amounts of the player's hint guide. And that there were apparently at one point more copies of Leisure Suit Larry circulating than there were computers capable of playing it, because of all of the blatant piracy. So, the practical upshot of it is that we had to have all these little means of being able to make sure that you actually did own a copy of the game. And in Leisure Suit Larry's case, they had questions that you had to answer to play the game that presumably only an adult would know the answer to. Now, of course, today you can go Google the answer to pretty much any type of trivia you need almost immediately, but the spirit is still there. And, like I said, this game is very much in the spirit of the classic Leisure Suit Larry games, and it's not, some perverted Mario Kart like the last two games that carried the Larry name. But anyway, I think the questions do change a bit based on if you're old enough to play the game, more of an old enough. I'm going to go with just old enough. Well, you really think you are old enough? Let's check that with some questions. Let's go. Which of the following was not an erotic TV show or series? Californication, Girls, Master of Sex, Sugar Walls. I think it probably was Sugar Walls. Okay, what is a fax? A single can of a Danish beer brand, a female fox, an extraordinary fact, a piece of paper sent over the telephone line. Yeah. What is a Dreamcast? A Twitch stream about dreams, the Dreamcast of a movie, the best console ever, the worst console ever. What was the name of Nintendo's most eccentric console? Game Boy X, Virtual Boy, Mario CD, Wii. Of course, it was the Wii U. I'm going to go with Virtual Boy. And just like that, we're loading a new game.
Finally, the time has come again.
Tool time!
Has awakened.
Cthulhu?
Everyone thought he was gone, forgotten, and many said this was a good thing.
But Rob Schneider kept coming back.
The chosen one from the prophecy lives. He will come. The alpacas will bow before him. And nothing will ever be the same.
Yeah, forgive me, I'm not going to MST the whole game. Just the occasional smart aleck comment.
Hello? Hey, babe. Why'd you turn off the light? Where are you? Oh, yeah. That feels like you're... Ouch. Oh, but then again, maybe not. And how come we're not in bed anymore? Where is the bed anyway? Babe! She must have split. Typical. Huh. Where did I end up this time? Man, the quest for love leads you to the strangest places. And most of them are pitch black, damp, and gloomy. First things first. Time to put some light on the subject.
And helpful explanation for all the different little quick keys for accessing your inventory, going to the home screen, and Right click to move, scroll to go through inventory, left click to do stuff, and space to highlight objects you can interact with, because that can be a problem in games like this, is finding the right place to mouse over, but thankfully, pretty easy.
Turned off. Seems to lead up.
And yeah, we got toxic waste there. And nothing in my inventory. Alright. Let's push the button, Frank.
What is this place?
Roll up chalkboard.
Looks like there's something behind it.
Okay, click on the chalkboard.
Seems to be some kind of high-tech laboratory. Was I abducted? And most important, by whom?
Now, bit of a hint here, and kind of a callback to the last Leisure Suit Larry adventure game, Leisure Suit Larry 7, Love for Sale, which if you have not played through that one and are interested in a good playthrough, I highly recommend my friend Jeff Hillary, aka Centaur Productions, playthrough of the Leisure Suit Larry series. Because the way that Leisure Suit Larry 7 ended was with Larry having won the affection, if not the love, of a cruise ship captain named Captain Thigh. Yes, we have all sorts of jokes like this in this game, if you aren't familiar with the genre. And if you manage to win the game and find all the Easter eggs and all the hidden little goodies and get a full perfect score, you got treated to a special extra ending where the ship got picked up by aliens. And this was meant to lead into what would have been the greatest Leisure Suit Larry game of all time, Leisure Suit Larry in Space, Larry Probes Uranus. That would have been one of the potential working titles, and there was some rumor that it would have been a Leisure Suit Larry Space Quest crossover, teaming Larry with Roger Wilco. Not sure how true that is either, but the dream is there. And yes, of course, if you do not move around too much, Larry will start getting bored and doing various disturbing things. But the implication here, for those of you who played that, is that Larry might have been beamed on board an alien spaceship.
Well, that did something. Did they experiment on me? And most important, who is they? I feel like I've been sleeping for ages.
Yeah, there's a bit of disparity between the
Daylight.
subtitles and the dialogue sometimes, but nothing too offbeat most of the time.
Wow, that must have been one hell of a night. Oh, everything's blurry. But it's a brand new day. And today the sun is shining for one man. And one man only. Larry Laffer. But then again, maybe not. Did I sleep all day? Not a problem. That means it's another hot night for Larry Laffer. Hey, what the hell was that? Looks like the elevator's dead. Looks like it's out of juice, as opposed to yours truly.
Yeah, if I had $1 for every time I heard that.
Huh. This looks a little different than I remember.
And yes, that would be because this is just outside Lefty's Bar, the place where you start the very first Leisure Suit Larry game. And we can see various things around here. Oh my. Cannot click on most of them, but hit the space button, it'll highlight everything. I'm going to do that very sparingly, though, because I Much rather look around and
Somebody's got cash to foot that bill.
poke and prod my way around finding things. Let's see, a working shoe.
That shoe has seen better days, but the shoelaces are still okay.
Because this is one of the games where you will run around and pick up every single thing you can like a kleptomaniac, because, gosh darn it, it's what you do.
The second prettiest bush I've ever seen. I think there's something in there, but the bush is too thick.
Yeah, if I had $1 for every time I heard that. Okay, I promise that'll be the last time in this video I bring that joke back.
A poster for a band called Kratzwerk. A poster for a band called Kratzwerk.
I thought there was more than one poster there.
There are some posters here, but nothing I'm interested in. A tight grate. There's something sparkling down there.
Because it wouldn't be an adventure game if there weren't a puzzle that required you to get something at the bottom of a grate.
It's overflowing. I won't rummage around in there without a damn good reason. Short and thin, like my pencil. That doesn't help me.
I'll bet
I don't think so.
I'd use that to fish something out, but I need a bit more equipment to work with. And for want of any...
I think there's something in there, but the bush is too thick.
And for want of anything else to click on... Which, yep, that's it. So...
And then this, like, mega hot guy comes up to me, and I was like...
Hey, you don't have to talk about me in the third person, baby.
And then I took a closer look at him and think, hello, those clothes are, like, so not.
Hey!
Wait a minute. Ugh, some guy keeps talking to me. I'll call you back later.
What's a woman like you doing in a place like Lefty's?
Well, the reviews sure didn't get me here. The joint only has like 23 fans on Instacrap and a half-star on Gulp. OMG, mega downer. But it's supposed to be the city's hot insider tip after next. At least it's also totally retro and vintage and stuff. Look at this filth. It really looks real. The Salon de Lézard is nothing compared to this. I'm Becky Butter, but I'm sure you already knew that. You look like one of my typical followers.
And get some choice in dialogue here.
I wasn't following you, honestly.
Mm.
I'm Larry. Larry Laffer.
Hey, my community is fading. My channel could really use some likes or I'm gonna lose traction.
Channel with the TV's off? Traction you in pain? Community, do you live in a commune? Or a couple of those words just don't click with me. Let's go with the TV reference. That seems a little more Larry.
Channel. But the TV is off.
Or don't you use Instacrap? I mean, you are more the farce book conspiracy theory generation, aren't you? And what's your score on Timber? I mean, you're about, like, I don't know, maybe 50 years too old, but I heard that there are a few seniors using it. But they're more the whole, like, far shit or elite farter kind of thing. All I ever find there are, like, these totally superficial braggarts. Great profile photo, but absolutely no character. I get around a lot, and it shows. Next year I'm going to the Scorching Dude Festival because everyone's so open there. And they're supposed to be serving a brand new craft beer here. Home brewed, totally analog, like by hand and all. Great for a selfie.
Hey, I could get you one of those draft beers.
Craft beer.
Or one of those.
And if they have any, like, really spicy versions, then that's what I want. You know, like pumpkin spice or lemon cobra or something.
Oh, and sure. Seems to be pretty much dead.
Yep, the old moose head of lefties. Becky.
She seems to be really interested in that glowing thing in her hand. The window is made of plastic. Seems pretty sturdy.
Just don't play any songs on that thing. That record in there would shatter your glass eye.
And you'll note that he does indeed seem to have a glass eye.
The window is made of... I won't get to that record that easily. It's behind the window.
Just don't play any...
Just the sight of it gives me an incurable Saturday night fever.
I just grabbed the darts without looking at them first.
That's the way to the restroom. The tap says Barbarian Brew. Trademark. Lefty's living his dream.
That's a very, very sad dream.
Still the most beautiful woman of all time. That's fine just the way it is.
And yes, that is the sleazy, naked woman behind the bar portrait from the original Leisure Suit Larry. Some stuff does not get the HD upgrade. And I think that's everything we can interact with, apart from, well, wait.
A rainbow-colored chewing gum. Scratching chewing gum off the bar. The second most wonderful thing in the world.
Yeah, Larry is kind of a weird guy, in case you had not figured that out already. I think that is now everything except for Lefty, so...
What'll it be? What? Larry? Is it really you?
Yep, still the one and only.
Yep, still the one and only.
It is you. I haven't seen you in ages. And you haven't aged a day. You know, somehow, you look even better than before. Not as chubby. We wondered where you'd gotten to. Some said you'd retired to an exotic island somewhere. Others thought you had entered a monastery. And some said you were dead.
I've never been to a monastery.
I've never even been to a monastery.
Then you'll be happy to know this still isn't one. But seriously, Larry, what happened to you?
Well, I was on a date with... what was her name? At any rate, we went to her place. Or to mine, or... to a hotel. And then... Now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
Oh, I don't even want to know what they did to your orifices.
Let's just say the handcuffs on the bedstead were, well, pretty tight.
I do the same thing. Helps against sleepwalking.
Just between you and me, I don't know if we had sex or not.
Just between you and me, between the two of us, you still look like a virgin.
I have no idea what happened.
Don't worry, Larry. No one knows what's going on anymore. The world's gotten confusing.
Yeah, something's wrong here. I've never seen a glowing box like that before.
Wait a minute. Larry, you do realize you've been gone a long time, don't you?
What do you mean?
You completely dropped off the radar. Like for years.
Now, what are you saying? Oh, you mean it's already 1990? Or even 2000? Is the glowing box a remote control for a jetpack? Are we on Mars?
Well, See, it's... Come closer.
Really?
Really?
Okay. I'm in the 21st century. Many of the people I knew are dead. Everything has changed. I don't know this world. But hey, who cares? I still have my good looks, my unparalleled charisma, and the biggest...
This is a family establishment.
smile in town.
Well, look at our inventory quick.
Pointy things, just the way they're supposed to be. The chewing gum is hard as a rock. It's going to take someone with a particularly strong jaw and the right bite to make it soft and sticky again.
Something I could do for you, Larry?
Well, so what I miss in lost wages?
Lost wages? Larry, you're in new lost wages.
Ah,
You must have really hit your head.
what about the jetpacks?
They all blew up.
Too bad. Do they have sex robots now?
No, nowadays we take pills to have an orgasm.
What?
Easy, Larry, easy. I'm just kidding. Even in the 21st century, we still have sex. No robots yet, though.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Nobody plays point-and-click adventure games anymore, but games with exploding candies and stuff instead.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Some people think you have to pour a bucket of ice water over your head before you can donate money.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Kids eat detergent to look cool.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
The space shuttle and the Concorde are history now.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
You know, your clothes are coming back into fashion.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Cat pictures are a new religion.
He's not wrong.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Synthesizer music isn't as popular as it once was.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
People usually carry their computers in their pants pockets now.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
Punk is dead.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
I think I've told you everything you need to know.
And yes, going through this whole chain is another trophy.
What else can you tell me about this new world?
I think I've told you everything you need to know.
I'd like 2 beers, please.
One for Becky? Fine. She's one of those damned hipsters flooding the city these days. Calls herself an influencer. Ha! I used to put a sign outside saying we serve beer. Nowadays, I have to make sure that one of them influencers posts a photo of it on Instacrap.
Insta... okay.
Here you go. 2 barbarian brews, brewed with a lot of love. Although the health department just doesn't seem to appreciate that.
Put it on my tab.
Good thing I still have yours from 1987. Larry, tell me, did you just put those 2 beers in your jacket?
Sure. That's what I always do. With everything. Isn't that allowed anymore?
Never mind.
See you later, Lefty.
Alright, well, that strikes me as a good point to stop this chapter. And next time we will pick up with Becky, our beers, and see where the night takes us. See you then.